My name is Liz Delgado. I'm a precinct chair with the Bear Democratic Party. What I love about Progress Texas is that whenever I'm feeling like everything is hopeless and that there's too much to do and too much to know in the world, Progress Texas breaks it down for me in 10 minutes or less. Every single day I can come to them and get a little motivation knowing that people like Progress Texas are out there fighting the good fight alongside all the rest of us.
It's Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosher. We sure don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, and we're certainly clear on the fact that Texas Republicans are who Texas Republicans have shown us they are for decades now. But could they be reading the tea leaves of the May municipal elections in which MAGA types and book banners were blown out across the board statewide and maybe dialing back some of the culture war bullshit? For example, Jessica Priest at the Texas Tribune says the Texas House is considering pulling back some of the uglier aspects of Senate Bill 37, which is essentially a GOP takeover of our state universities and has already passed in its current form by the Senate. In that form, it would place limits on how topics including race, sex, ethnicity, or political or religious belief are taught at the college level in Texas, allow the elimination of degree programs considered less than financially lucrative, and set up governor-appointed boards to directly approve tenured faculty hires in several disciplines. Republican Representative Matt Shaheen of the North DFW Mid-Cities has proposed a scale-back version that drops the political and social belief language and the degree value rating system, limits regent hiring oversight to top administrators, and restricts the right to file violation reports to students and university affiliates. So a little reason here. But let's face it, this bill at its heart is designed to target what conservative lawmakers consider liberal bias in higher education, essentially another step forward for the DEI bans that got underway last session. Higher education experts point out the obvious risk of right-wing political interference undermining the value of any college degree earned in the state of Texas. Professors at several Texas colleges have testified at the Capitol that SB 37 will worsen the self-censorship that's already resulted from the Texas DEI ban over the last couple of years. And there are legal issues here, too. Similar efforts in other states, like Florida's Stop Woke Act, are already facing legal challenges over free speech concerns. Meanwhile, could Ken Paxton have gotten the memo as well? Bill Ziebel at KERA in Dallas says our tiresome AG has dropped his lawsuit against Capel ISD, in which he had accused the district of illegally teaching critical race theory, which is one of those things that's illegal in Texas, despite the fact that it never happens at the pre-college level. Actual CRT is a component of college-level studies, typically in law school, which looks at systemic racism as a framework of public policy. But wild-eyed folks like Ken Paxton like to use it as a catch-all for any mention of racism or social justice at all in any classroom. Paxton had filed the lawsuit in March, and Capel ISD pushed back, arguing that Paxton's claims had relied on misleading and heavily edited undercover videos that had been produced by the conservative activist group Accuracy in Media. Now, there's an ironic name, which is refused, by the way, to provide the uncut footage. Paxton has backed off, and a Dallas County judge has granted a joint notice of non-suit, effectively dismissing the case. But the AG warns his anti-CRT crusade ain't over yet. He's targeting Austin ISD next. So again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Still plenty for Texas progressive types to rage against, and so much of this has to do with education. Next up, of course, HB 2, the public school funding bill, considered step 2 in the Texas two-step, supposedly partnered with SB 2, the private school voucher bill, which was fast-tracked and has been very ceremoniously signed into law by the governor. HB 2, checking this morning, has not budged. It was referred to committee on April 23rd, 2 weeks ago today. While that bill's path to the governor's desk seems to get more difficult by the day, your Republican heroes at the Capitol had no trouble getting legislation done that will increase legal risks for teachers. Emmanuel Rivas Valenzuela at KFOX 14 TV in El Paso says Senate Bill 412, a bill removing protections for educators accused of providing obscene content to minors, is heading to the governor's desk. The bill eliminates the affirmative defense, which allows educators to argue the educational value of contested materials. Critics, including El Paso Teachers Association President Norma De La Rosa, worry about the vague definition of obscenity in this bill. She says, quote, "There's just so many interpretations of what the definition of that word is. My idea of what's obscene may be and will be very different from what your definition of obscene is," unquote. While the ACLU is warning that the bill could harm parents' rights as well, Governor Abbott is expected to sign HB 412 into law this week. In all likelihood, it'll be enforced at the beginning of the next school year this fall. Look for legal challenges to follow. Still in education, an interesting development in that lawsuit against Governor Abbott and the University of Texas by students who were part of the pro-Palestinian protests on the UT campus last summer that were crushed by a massive police action. Naomi LaChance at Rolling Stone writes that body camera audio has revealed that a Texas police officer assigned to that crackdown questioned the legality of arresting those peaceful protesters, some of whom were tackled, zip-tied tightly enough to cause injuries, and forcefully arrested even while trying to comply with police. Charges of illegal trespass were quickly dropped for lack of probable cause, but the university then imposed disciplinary actions, including campus bans and threats of suspension. The lawsuit filed by the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee argues that the crackdown was politically motivated. With this audio, the very officers participating were questioning the legal validity of the action as it was happening. Interesting read in the show notes. And finally this morning, while nobody's arguing that any political party is perfect, while the Republicans nominate and elect convicted felons, the Democrats make efforts to police their own. Catherine Wilson at the Texas Tribune writes that the Texas Democratic Party will soon vote on a resolution to condemn Congressman Henry Cuellar of Laredo for actions they say undermine party values, including breaking from the party on key votes and facing federal corruption charges. It reads in part, quote, "Congressman Henry Cuellar has a proven track record of disregarding the values of the Texas Democratic Party and the ethos that comes along with being a Texas Democrat, and often acting against the peace and dignity of the state of Texas," unquote. If passed, the resolution would revoke party resources, bar the congressman from most party events, and encourage affiliates to reject his event requests. Cuellar is awaiting trial in September on bribery and money laundering charges, though he has maintained his innocence. While few of his Democratic colleagues in Congress have taken him to task directly, the state party is being more critical, pointing to his conservative votes, his high NRA rating, and his absence from town halls as reasons for the condemnation. We had a terrific time at the Meadow Neighborhood Restaurant in North San Antonio yesterday at our Party for Progress. Huge thanks to everybody who came out to support. We had a great turnout, including both current San Antonio Mayor Ron Nierenberg and we believe the next mayor of San Antonio, runoff candidate Gina Ortiz-Jones. Watch for the resulting podcast to hit this feed shortly. It's always a blast to see you guys. And DFW and North Texas friends, we want you to mark your calendars for Monday, June the 9th. That's when we'll be hosting our 15th anniversary celebration in Dallas. Links to become a supporter and to secure your tickets are up now at progresstexas.org and in the show notes. Again, 15 years of progress in Dallas. Monday, June 9th. We hope to see y'all there. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, but they far outmatch us in funding. Oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups spend a lot of money keeping their audiences in the dark. If you've come to appreciate the light we shine on important political news in Texas on a daily, ongoing basis, please know that our regular, everyday listeners form a key component of our funding. And if that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. And thanks to Sharon Guild-Stitt, Stephanie Evans, and Michelle Mapes, all of whom are on the team. We appreciate all of y'all very much. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.